Hello, this is Mrs. Dubois, and I'm going to deliver the answer key for this worksheet on factoring and polynomials. So if you remember, number one, 5x plus 2 squared, you have to write it out as two binomials, and then you have to use FOIL to multiply, right? First, outer, inner, and last, and then you combine like terms. And when you do that, you get the answer to be 25x squared plus 20x plus 4. Okay. Number two, you saw something similar on the Desmos last week, and you have to remember that to follow PEMDAS, okay, in that this exponent comes first. And again, you should write it out as two binomials. Then you should FOIL. When you FOIL that out, you'll get 4x squared minus 2x plus 1, and then you have this plus 4. And then when you combine like terms, you're going to get 4x squared minus 4x plus 5. Number 3 says, write a polynomial expression to represent the area of the triangle. So if we go back, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to plug in what I know, all right? Oh, I should put area equals there also. This is the base, and this is the height, okay? I don't know the area, so it's 1/2 base, which is 2x minus 4, times the height, which is x plus 5, all right? You want to FOIL this out first, okay? And when you FOIL that out, you get 2x plus 2x squared, plus 6x minus 20. And you still have this 1/2, so I have to divide everything by 2, all right? So it's kind of like if you go back to remember that jelly bean method, all right? 2 divided by 2 is x squared. If 6x divided by 2 is 3x, and then negative 20 divided is negative 10. All right. So the area of this triangle equals x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okay. A few steps in that problem. You can handle it. All right. Now I gave you a hint for numbers 4 through 9, and you're always looking for a GCF, okay? And the GCF for number 4 is 2a, and then you have to reverse FOIL. So 9ab to the 5th minus a squared b plus 2. All right, and then you cannot do anything further from there. All right, especially because you have a b to the 5th power. Okay, the next one, same thing, always and forever looking for a GCF. And the greatest common factor of these two is 3c to the d. And then I'm going to undistribute, right? So this will leave me with 5c minus 17d. Okay. Okay. If I reverse FOIL, if I look for the greatest common factor on number 6, it is 3x. I undistribute 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Now this trinomial, I can use reverse FOIL. So 3x is 2x plus 1, and then x minus 3. And remember, these are expressions, so I don't need to solve them, all right? I'm only factoring completely. All right, number 7, the greatest common factor is -2. So that's x squared plus 8x plus 7. All right, and then this trinomial can be factored again using reverse FOIL. X plus 1, x plus 7, okay? And it won't actually matter what order. You could have x plus 7 and then x plus 1. Using the commutative property of multiplication, either one is fine, okay? Number 8, first thought always, is there a greatest common factor? 4 and 81, 4x squared and 81, no. There isn't a greatest common factor, but 4x squared is a perfect square. There's a negative subtraction sign here, and then 81 is a perfect square. So this is the difference of two squares, okay? So the square root is 2x of 4x squared and 2x. One is always a minus, the other one's always a plus. And then the square root of 81 is 9. And again, these are expressions, so we're just leaving them like this. Number 9, the greatest common factor is 2, leaving you inside with 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. This trinomial can be factored again, and we'll have 2x minus 5x plus 4. And if you double check, right, 2x plus 4x is 8x plus a negative 5x does in fact give you 3x here, okay? I should actually go back. I'm just gonna go back, and this is your answer. That's the final answer, because these are all expressions and all we're doing is factoring completely. First great rule of factoring is always and forever to look for a greatest common factor. All right. Now the next section is set up like proofs, okay? So you have to think of the reasoning behind each step, okay? So the first one is started to be filled out for you so you could see what we're talking about. This is our original equation, so there's going to be solving here, right? Then you want to make sure that you write the equation so that everything is equal to 0, right? Then you're always looking for a greatest common factor, and in this trinomial, there's no greatest common factor. Then you're thinking reverse FOIL, all right? So 6 times 6 gives you 36, and 6x plus 6x gives you 12x. And then the zero product rule means that you have to set them equal to 0. And I'm writing it twice, but you only had to write it once. If you solve this, then x is equal to -6, okay? Because remember, there's an equal sign, so we are solving. Okay, so for number 11, again, you want to get everything on the same side, all right? So I'm going to add 52 to each side, and this is going to end up being -x squared. If I add 52 here, oops, ran into the side there, plus 100 equals 0, okay? There are a couple of different ways to do this one, but I'm following, all right? So I got everything equal to 0. Now, does this one have a greatest common factor? I'm going to pull out the greatest common factor is -1, so I can make the x squared term positive. So you'll have x squared minus 100, again, equal to 0. All right. Now, can I factor using reverse FOIL? So it's not a trinomial, but I see it has 2 terms. So this is actually the difference of 2 squares, right? because x squared and 100 are perfect squares. So it's -1, x minus 10, x plus 10 equals 0. Okay? Then set up using the zero product rule. X minus 10 is equal to 0. X plus 10 is equal to 0. So my options are 10 and -10. Okay. So number 12, okay, you're following the same thing. Get the equation equal to 0, all right? So I'm going to put everything on the same side. And again, you could put everything on the right side. There are a couple of different ways you could solve this, all right? Now, the greatest common factor here is, trying to look at my answer key, -6x. So if I pull a -6x out of here, I'm left with x squared minus 25 equals 0. Oh, and look at that, all right? So because there are not 3 terms in here, I'm actually not going to use reverse FOIL. This is the difference of 2 squares. So this is -6x, oopsie doops, and I'm going to rewrite that, -6x, x minus 5, x plus 5, all equals 0, okay? I have to set it up using the zero product rule, so I'm going to have -6x equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so in this, x is equal to 0 here, x is equal to 5, and x is equal to -5. Those are my 3 answers when I solve it. All right. The procedure is the same. I'm going to get everything equal to 0 so that I can factor efficiently. I'm going to look for greatest common factor, which the greatest common factor in this one is 4x squared, leaving me with 5x squared plus 7x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, now, this one, this is a trinomial, 5x squared plus 7x minus 6, and so I'm going to use reverse FOIL to factor that one. So this is 5x minus 3, and this is x plus 2, and I can double check that. That's these outer 2 terms give you a positive 10x minus 3x. That will give you a positive 7x. All right, so then you use the zero product rule. 4x squared equals 0. 5x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. So we have x is equal to 0, x is equal to 3/5, and x is equal to -2. And bravo, there you go. Have a great day.